comprises companies in industries that are very different from each other. They differ not just in industry, but in size, scale, and the stage of business operations as well. For this, it becomes imperative for us as a group to adopt common core values. These core values will thread together our varying businesses with a common end objective to meet our vision: to be a dynamic conglomerate driven by sustainable growth, efficiency, and innovation. We have 6 core values. Our first value is to be customer first. Through all our businesses, we touch many lives. Therefore, we need to keep the customer at the core of our every action. Our second value is that of execution excellence. We must strive to be the best in everything we do. Third, credibility. We should instill trust and confidence with our every action and be accountable for them. Fourth, agility. We operate in a world that is fast changing, and so we must endeavor to move ahead of time quickly so that we continue to stay relevant. Our fifth core value is that of risk taking. We should be willing to take measured risks, and we should dare to go beyond. Sixth, humaneness. We should be fair, respectful, transparent, and sensitive in all our dealings. Our core values are the DNA of our group. We should imbibe them within ourselves as our very own DNA. They will govern the way we operate and will serve as an unwavering guiding principle for us. They will stand the test of time, market forces, and management practices. Building strong businesses requires building a strong company culture, which is reflected in our core values. Thank you.
Hello everybody. For us, customer is the core, since he is the fountainhead for driving sustained profitable business growth. Unlocking the true potential of customer value calls for us being customer centric and doing all that needs to create customer happiness and positive customer experiences. Let me tell you, customer perception is a reality. The gap between his expectation and perception during his actual experience is a reality, and we must understand it and do all that it needs to satisfy his stated and latent needs. We all must be in the shoes of the customer during his entire journey and capture his valued inputs and feedback. For this, we can tap on our digital trail, which daily flows to us from all customer touchpoints through his complaints and queries, like from call centers, from regional offices, from emails, from social media, etc. Then we need to leverage technology like big data analytics to devise a comprehensive policy, system and process which has embedded in it the customer valued inputs, so that we can create a flexible ecosystem to deal with the dynamic customer challenges. Customer communication is another important perspective, and proactive customer communication helps redress his grievances and create transparency and faith on us. We must be passionate to satisfy all our customers and create a delightful experience so that we can build his trust, loyalty, and long-term relationship. And finally, he becomes our advocate. With this, we can create more customer acquisitions and retention. And finally, let me tell you that customer service is not the job of a very specific department, but the responsibility of every employee in the organization. Thank you.
Execution excellence is a very broad term. To me, it's ultimately what the customer sees or experiences. So everything that happens after an idea has been born, till the time it is delivered to the customer and delivered consistently millions of times, that is all execution excellence. It has three critical components to my mind: organizational processes, expertise, and the culture of winning. I'm a process guy, so let me start with processes. Organizational processes are key to execution excellence. Does the organization have a process all the way from how ideas are generated, on how strategic planning is done to make choices on the markets and products to play, on how products are operationalized and then sold or delivered day in and day out, and not the least, the process of managed innovation to improve them every day so that tomorrow is better than today. Toyota is a great example of using organizational processes effectively, from strategic planning to Kaizen on the shop floor and on the dealership. And we all know that a Toyota Camry costs less today than it did 30 years ago. The second element is domain knowledge and functional expertise. Now, if you were taking a loved one for a bypass surgery, you want to go to a surgeon who's done at least 5,000 of those. They have seen all possible scenarios of what could happen in surgery, and they're part of their learnings and playbook. All of us know the theory of eating well, exercising regularly, but the people who are truly healthy are the ones who put in the hours in planning and putting the effort in exercising. So repetition and reflection are the key for domain knowledge, which in turn feeds into execution excellence. The third element is the culture to win. It includes things like perseverance, attention to quality, attention to detail, and adaptability. To be effective, to be successful, one needs to be unreasonable. For everything else, there is a reason, or why we lost, why somebody else win. It's that desire to win, organization-wide, which creates a culture to win. So to sum it up, execution excellence is a function of organizational processes, expertise, and the culture to win.
Hello everyone. As you know, credibility is one of the core values of our group. So what does credibility mean to us? It is the quality or power of inspiring belief or being accepted as trustworthy and honest. To my mind, it is a fundamental value which drives belief system and behavior of all other values. It applies to every walk of life, personal and professional. Being credible means fostering a set of specific qualities, be it consistency, fairness, sincerity, or empathy, loyalty, dedication, and many more. Establishing such qualities through our actions translates into credible performance. When it comes to an organization, credibility is a sum total of credible performances put in by its people. In turn, this defines business credibility with all its stakeholders: the customers, employees, the business partners, and shareholders. Once an organization is perceived as a trustworthy, credible entity, its stakeholders start to believe that the organization will deliver on its promises. Such organizations have higher brand equity and gives higher return on investment. In an organization, it is the responsibility of the senior leadership to drive credibility through their actions and behavior. The work culture thus created thrives on transparency, faith, mutual trust, and respect to build an organization of repute. Finally, all of us feel proud to be part of an organization with high credibility, which instills trust and confidence, and we remain accountable with our actions. Thank you.
There was a time when business loved stabilities as it ensured consistent profits and where managers could plan accurately, where a future could be laid out. Times have changed. Today, the world does not work like earlier ways. We live in a VUCA world. What is agility? Agility is to move quickly from one point to another, but that's if you go by the dictionary meaning. In business, to be agile is the ability to create and to respond to change in order to succeed in an uncertain and turbulent environment. And in business, it also means the ability to think and understand the landscape quickly and move quickly. Agility is to step away from traditional approach and be innovating, finding new solutions. It is also to replace old habits with new, better ones. Have you ever thought of that? Unlike before, thanks to tech coming into everything, business models and the ways of working are changing faster than ever before. And thus, agility also means to adapt faster to external and internal changes. Can we all at our group be more flexible to consider demand? Can we variabilize our cost anticipating new future? That would be being agile. And it does not matter what level you are in an organization, but an agile mindset is in itself a transformation. With an agile mindset, you will always be at the top of this fast-paced life and the possibilities are endless. Where is the choice today but to stay agile and thus flexible when tomorrow or every day brings new news on lockdown or changes, so course correction is a given on a daily basis. At RPSG Group, we have successfully managed and learned we can come out on tops of this in serving our consumers in all categories and businesses the group operates in. While we at the group have done well on agility till here, let's go beyond and bring this agile mindset to every team member so we can navigate this VUCA world successfully. I wish you all the best in being more agile.
Hi. 1/6 of the world, is from India. But how many innovators, how many entrepreneurs have made a name from India? Not even a handful. Now, that's surprising, but what do I attribute it to? The way we people are taught how to bicycle. Yeah, you heard me right. The way we learn how to cycle when we are young kids has a huge influence on the way we grow up and our ability to take risk. Do you remember your childhood? Most of us learned cycling with a father or mother holding the cycle from the back because they were scared that we should not fall. And somewhere that started setting in our heads that you need to learn things only after you take out the fear of failure or injury. That's not how kids are taught cycling in US or Europe or many other advanced countries, where kids are left free and they go out there and learn cycling on their own. They fall, they hurt themselves, but they also learn cycling. This has got a huge impact the way we people grow up. It finally decides how much of a risk appetite do we people have. And in today's world, where everything is changing, pre-COVID-19, there were another set of changes. Now, it's an altogether different world. And many of the things that used to be functional or used to be the go-to strategies earlier are no longer going to be applicable. We may have to go back and take huge amount of risk. What stops us from taking risk? It's a fear right now that if we fail, people will laugh at us. Corporates are going to take action against us. Somehow, if we can take that fear out of our mind, of the mind of all our team members who are working with us, so that people know if they go back and try something new and if they fail, there is somebody who is going to go out there and still give them a pat on the back. I think wonders can go back and happen. That doesn't mean that you go back and keep on making the same mistakes again and again and again. Clearly something is wrong then. But it's okay right now to try something new and once in a while go back and fail. My last part, people often think right now that risk-taking is equivalent to playing blind. No, it's not. There's a lot of reading that needs to go behind right now, a lot of understanding of the world that goes in before you take decisions. And yes, in the end, there's a gut call. A gut call that gets refined over years right now of you taking decisions and they going right or wrong, you meeting customers, you meeting stakeholders. So my advice to all of you guys is, if you want to go back and make a name for yourself and make your company hugely successful in the times to come, go and start taking risk. Thanks.
Humanness is one of the 6 core values of our group. To me, being human in organization is nothing but creating an environment where people are respectfully treated and employees feel trusted. There always remains an opportunity of growth both in the private as well as in their personal levels. A creating environment always requires for certain virtues to be appreciated in a business humanness organization. It is the culture, how we actually treat people there, where we acknowledge the differences and also resolve the conflicts ahead of time. And this ultimately creates a trusted, transparent, and ethical organization. But the most important factor is how these core values are being practiced by our employees in their day-to-day interactions with all the stakeholders, including external as well as internal. Because by virtue of this, we can make people more engaged and increase their contribution meaningfully. Some of the examples of these external behavior of core values are like when you give value of time to the others, when you become a very passionate and sincere listener, when you try to understand the needs of the people and try to address this, when you show sympathy as well as empathy, when you become a good person while treating without any partiality. So these are the things which we need to practice every day, in our actions, so that it becomes a part of our DNA. And at the end, it will definitely reflect in the business results which will move towards north. And that's it. That's how a business is to move.